Mr. Basin here of Islandstats. Thank you very much for your services over the many years and always being part of the BCB and all sports as well. So, Mr. Basin, I'll go to you. Any questions for our president, Mr. Arnold Mendes?
Definitely. Good afternoon, everyone. What's different this time? We're constantly the leaders in putting together programs, but we're not always ones to follow through with programs. So what's different this time?
Well, Earl, to answer your question, I'm a person that when I start something, I like to finish it. I think my tenure will be up before the strategic plan is fully followed through with, but that's a decision I would have to make whether I want to stay on or leave. But I can guarantee you with the committee that we have that everybody is very passionate about what we just done. We spent a lot of time doing it. We have the ICC behind us, so they know they're seeing it. So we have to produce. We have to make sure that we follow through with everything that we said we've done. And as long as I'm alive, I think we'll make every attempt to do so. But like I said, if you have time to read through it, my most important point was that we have to follow through with it because we need to improve our ranking. But the thing is, it's not to just put it in place and do it, it's being able to sustain what we said we want to do. And that's the problem that's going to lay mostly with it. But if we can follow the 5-year strategic plan, I mean, there may be some things that we may not be able to do, but it may be some things that we can add in that will assist us in getting to our main goal. But because, with the financial climate, I know we need to find more funding. Government has been very supportive, as Cal said. Minister Peets has been like a diamond in the rough. He's assisted us with a lot of things, particularly in youth and sports and getting funding, and especially with the National Stadium. So I think we have a passionate executive group, and I think the clubs are on board. So we just have to give it our all. As long as I'm involved, I think we should be fine. And maybe if anybody comes in to take my place, they will make sure that it's followed through with. But that's for you, the general public, the ICC, and government to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. But I think we're in good hands, and I think we'll be fine. We'll follow through with it because we don't have a choice.
Just to follow up on that, I was going to ask that question about, is this a collective board plan, or is this, because I heard Cal say that it was one of your visions when you came in to have this kind of put in place. So is this a collective board plan, or is this Arnold Mendes president plan that will continue even if Arnold Mendes decided to walk away at the next AGM when his time's up?
It's been a collective thing. And even before I got elected as president, I had shared my vision with clubs, with a majority of the clubs. So I think they understand, and I think everybody understands the importance that where we are now is not a very safe place. I mean, we're still getting the funding, but we need to try and improve cricket from the grassroots straight up to the high performance. It's not, like we said, it's been like I was sick and I was still on every night when we had our meetings. It's been the whole the executive. We met with clubs, we shared it with them, asked for any advice, and if anything came, we looked at it and put it in if it had to be in. But it's been collective, but a majority of the work has been done by the executives.
How much buy-in do you have from the actual participants? And I'm talking about players, because we often talk around a table in a boardroom, and the one denominator that's always left out are the players that have to help this plan through. But have they been, in talks? Have they had any idea of what's going on behind the scenes? Because they play an integral part as well.
Yeah, they do. You're correct in saying that. But if they look at the plan, because some players have seen it, some players haven't. But if you look at the plan is designed for them to make sure that we can have the funding to send them to training camps, to send them to training trips before tournaments. This is what it's all about. It's improving the cricket from, like I said, the grassroots to the high performance. We know COVID-19 has been COVID-19. There's nothing you can do. All you have to do is learn to adapt. We tried to do a lot of things to assist them, which fell apart because of COVID-19, like getting them too early to the last tournament. That fell through because you can't step outside of your bubble. They got stuck into Florida. We moved them from Miami we'll do anything that we can do within our financial constraints to ensure that they get the best chance to compete and compete at a high level. And if you look at it, in that last tournament, without a few things done going the other way, we could have beat America and Canada, who had played 10, 15 matches before they got into that tournament. And the United States had played 3 matches before we even got to play 1. So, we're there. We just need to provide them with the tools to be able to get across that line. And that's what this strategic plan will do. But they have to buy into it. It's not about, you're just going to be here to get a trip. If we say we're doing fitness testing and this is where you need to be on the yo-yo test and you don't make it, then there's a do. You have to be. We can provide them with it, but like I say, and you probably know that already, I could lead my horse to the water, but if he don't want to drink it, it's not going to drink it. But if a player don't want to drink it, then he's not what we need to be in our program. So that, and I was looking at a webinar, not even a webinar, an interview last night with they had all the former West Indian test bowlers when they were the best team in the world for like 15 years. And I think Joe Garner hit it on the head about the current state of West Indies cricket and probably cricket on this side of the world. It's that same thing I said about leading the horse to the water, but they won't take it. If you have to, they think they're better than they are. And he said the best thing that you could ever do, you can have all the potential you can have all the potential if you want. If you don't work hard, you're never going to improve. And that's what that culture needs to be about, constantly improving. Our domestic league is not that good. So we have to try to find ways to improve it. And if you look in the strategic plan, you'll see about the BCL, which is something that Mr. Otterbridge and Mr. Atnes had developed some years ago, but it never came to fruition. And they greatly handed it over to us, which was what we were doing anyway, but it was already done. So we don't have to do a whole lot of work, make a few changes here and there. But the board is here, like we said, to improve the cricket, to get more people playing, to improve the high performance, which is where the players be. But the players need to be wanting to get better, to come to training, and not just come to training, but put your best in. The problem, and that's the thing about high performance, the same way you train is the same way you play. And if you look at all the great players, they do the extras. And that's what's needed at the international level. But you can't just be at your club and be mediocre and think that you're going to step into the national program and play in an international tournament and think you're going to do well. Because if you haven't prepared mentally, physically, and skill-wise, you're just going down the wrong path. So we've done our job. Now it's time for the players to jump on board, and we'll do whatever we can do to make sure that when they go to tournaments, that they'll be well prepared. But then I said, it comes down to them in the end.
Mr. Manders, the plan I see encouraged by the ICC is to get more women playing the game. How do we plan to make sure that if we do get this up and running, it's sustained? I know a lot of times women's sports is driven by finance. And when I say finance, I mean the association or the board will get more money if they have a women's program and so forth. But once you got the funds, it's almost like the women's game seems to take a third seat, not a second seat. So first of all, how do we plan to get these women involved, and how do we plan to sustain them in the game and encourage more to get involved?
Cal, you want to pull up that the strategic one for the women.
Yes, give me 1 second.
But the thing is, yeah, Earl, you're correct about the finances, but if we were smart, we would want to get it up and running and make sure we can sustain it, because I think we get 5% more, Cal, or something like that.
Yes.
Which is another revenue for funds. So she got it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I went through this at the beginning. It's all about getting them playing cricket, Earl. Increasing number of girls playing cricket in youth leagues. I think that's probably the most important part, because if you can get a great number of young ladies or girls playing cricket, we can grab them and, take them from one stage to the next through our programs. Host girls is by hosted tournaments. You see that under 8s, under 16s. I think we have fell short in the years past is that the Bermuda school system would provide that, but once the cricket finished in the school system, was no cricket for the ladies. So that's something that we'll have to work on, improving for next steps. So I think that the cricket board, and I said it for years, when we are holding tournaments, that is the school system, that we should have someone from the BCB going down and identifying players, whether boys or girls, and put them in our programs. But like we said at the start, it's important that we get more funding for it, but we want to grow the game sustainably, and it starts from the youth programs and trying to move them from one age group to the next. And that comes with, our programs, as well as getting them off island and playing. Quite difficult right now with COVID-19, but that's the plan, to get more young girls playing, because I think we had a good group of playing earlier, but they had to play with the boys, and then they got disheartened after a while. And now they're coming back, from what I heard from development chairman, Ms. Kelly Smith.
Yeah.
And you see the last part, number 5, transition players to the elite zone teams to filter into under 19s and the senior national teams. So that's the plan.